Well, greetings, hello, and welcome back. I'm ImperialJedi. This is episode number 2 of our Let's Play series. And just kind of continuing with the theme of the first one, definitely more of a tutorial focus for the first few episodes. So today we're all about expanding, how to properly do that, like road hierarchy, not run into problems with services and whatnot. So we'll kind of, motor along. Having a lot of fun so far. I'm not going to point fingers, but someone got us into a little bit of trouble in the first episode. We managed to resurrect the problems, though. So yeah, hopefully everything was kind of a-okay in your own cities, guys. Definitely it's supposed to be kind of a fun learning experience. I did kind of push it to the limits, so whoops. But I think we're okay. I think we recovered nicely. And yeah, I think we're off to a good start so far. So we don't actually have another tile to buy just yet. And as it stands, we're actually just starting to run into our first set of problems, which will be probably what you guys are running into as well. So we got to get more power in. Now we can't quite afford the coal power plant yet. And maybe our budget was a little bit worse off, right? So if we can, what we're going to do is buy ourselves another wind turbine just to kind of get us through the short run. Now, something you can do, if you do get enough of a budget built up, you can actually pay back your loan and then take it all over again, which would kind of leave us with about a 4,000 credit profit here if we were to do that. The loan does get progressively paid off over time, so it just comes out of your budget anyhow. But if ever you're in a pinch, just maybe check over here, right? So we can pay that, take it right back out. That does give us enough money to buy the power plant that we're after. But let's just kind of pretend that we weren't able to do that, right? So when you're dropping more wind turbines down in an area like this, you're actually going to decrease the wind flow just ever so slightly. Oops. Not sure if you saw that or not, but the darker shaded area just went ever so slightly smaller. And if you put enough in, you're basically just not canceling out the wind or anything, right? There's not enough to harness for all the turbines, right? So just be aware of that. So these things might work against you to a certain extent. And in terms of growing a city, you'll need a whole ton of these. So nothing wrong with you doing the green approach. Just be prepared to drop a lot of them. So early on, even if it's a polluter, we might maybe switch over to coal. But I do kind of want a green city vibe. We have Green Cities playlist. Don't grill me here; it's kind of on hold right now. But we'll get back to that. And I think we're going to incorporate a lot of the the ideas along the way. All right, that's enough chit chat. Let's get building here. Keep our road guidelines on. So what I want is, I do want a grid city. It's really easy to follow along. Great for traffic flow to a certain extent, but it does kind of get a little bit monotonous on the eye. So what we can do is have some really strong straight roads, but maybe have those follow the terrain a little bit more. And I believe we did something like this in our original Let's Play as well. Okay. Now, we're just kind of eyeballing this. The important thing I would say is that if it is close to a straight line like this, make sure you're exaggerating the curve. If that one is just kind of like this, you know what I mean? So it's not quite straight. But if it's almost there, that'll drive your eyes crazy. So don't do that kind of stuff. Okay, so we'll expand this a little bit. We don't have the world of money, so I'm probably going to get a little bit carried away with what we're doing here. And then as far as an arterial road layout goes, we want longer, wider roads to kind of connect corridors together. And then when we get closer to where people are going to be living, we'll be scaling down the roads and making more kind of custom neighborhoods. So let's just pop a few of these out. The thing though with grids is it does lead to grid lock. Hence the that saying, right? Okay, so commercial is pretty effective when it's kind of spread throughout the city instead of having one giant pocket of commercial. Think little local shopping areas. And then, not impossible also to have say at the end of a street, one or two little stores. And I'm not going to really break into it this episode. I'm going to keep that just for next episode. We'll kind of make that more of detailing and that kind of focus. But I do have some cool approaches for making neighborhoods. But just to get us started, let's do some simple grids over here. And we're going to be zoning as we go. And that stops a couple things, right? Stops the budget from getting too out of hand. And it also kind of keeps in check the kind of the death life cycle. That it's easy to get that out of sync. And you end up with these death waves where just huge amounts of people die at once. And it's really morbid. You're probably what are you talking about? Yeah, you'll see what I mean. So that usually is a byproduct of having the game on pause. You building, we'll talk about this in just 1 second. Let me finish these pipes. So that's kind of the game is on pause. You're building out one or two massive neighborhoods. You zone them all at once and then press play. So all those people come into the city at the same time. They're kind of the same age. You'll have kids at the exact same kind of time, more or less. And so you get kind of stuck in that cycle. Luckily with Sunset Harbor, there's some new ways to kind of combat that. So we'll tackle that as we go. There's gonna be healthcare and extended end of life care. But yeah, we'll tackle that when we come. Yeah, today's just kind of some simple expansion, talking about roads. You can kind of see here, right? Just for like pretty good generic traffic flow, we got wider roads kind of making the box. And to discourage people from maybe just cutting all the way through here, we can sometimes switch it up to have one-way roads just for like one block. And again, that's kind of like that local traffic vibe. Or we could do things like this, right? Maybe not have an intersection here, but if we wanted zoning, maybe extend a little bit further out. My number one tip, right? When you're building, especially early on, leave a lot of space in between your projects and your highways. Maybe your waterfronts too, right? And the idea is when we unlock bigger and better things, or if traffic kind of gets a little bit out of hand, we want already some space. And then the highways get noisy the more they get used, so you also want just a natural buffer right there. We can put things down like trees, some detailing, nature paths, bike lanes, pedestrian overpasses. So it kind of like gives us the freedom to kind of let loose a little bit later in the city without having to destroy too much. Okay, so we're going to kind of fill these neighborhoods in a little bit haphazardly here. And then if you want, just for some variety in how the houses come in, little ones like this too. And then to, sorry, my poor voice here. And then to encourage people to just maybe stick to the wider roads, we don't have to connect everywhere, right? So you're really going to come in here if you live here. Kind of gives the vibes of the old residential neighborhood here. Okay, so let's move that just a little bit here. I'm being pretty cavalier with our expenditures. And I've kind of built a little bit too much, again, without zoning here, so. It's weird, I'm good at, like, I think, giving advice, but I'm terrible at even following my own. Not that we have to, but we can maybe gently curve. If that goes up by maybe one more tile, that'll look a little bit nicer. All we're doing is we got the road guidelines on, and we're going to try and follow the same curve as this. So we can even go to the same node. That's that one right there. And then let's see if we go... Yeah, that works. And if you notice in our little swoosh, that part right there, the squares kind of line up a little bit. So that's nice. A little bit of this kind of stuff's easy on the eyes. Yeah, so when you zoom out, that's kind of nice, right? Okay, let's zone a neighborhood out of this, and we'll give them one way in over here. Maybe for the sake of a little bit more traffic flow, we'll do that. And these are kind of cute when you upgrade them to have a... seems like the zoning square's a little bit off there. Yeah, these are kind of nice when you upgrade them to have the trees. And just, dedicated turning lane, a little bit more use of the traffic. Or of the lane, sorry. And then if we want to right here to keep traffic the priority for inbound, we can have a stop sign here, stop sign here, stop sign here. So that means everybody coming in has got the right of way, more or less. Okay, cool, let's zone this up. And we did unlock a new milestone, so let's talk about that and look at what we got as we wait for this to fill in. Now, spots like this too, this is kind of like a personal preference. I don't really like having a whole row of these little itty-bitty houses. So this will give us a chance to do some of that detail, and I'll be talking about it in the next episode. But for the moment, just blanket zone, have some fun. Don't stress too much about making it look pretty. Right now, what we're trying to do is just build up the budget, make sure we're understanding the game mechanics a little bit better, and just try to have some fun too. We're getting creative, I think. So a little bit of that mentality from before. We're having some local shopping, and this will cut back on the need for car trips. You don't have to drive all the way across town now to go pick up your, carton of eggs, right? Walk down the street, you're okay. And then soon, we're going to be putting in like plazas, parks, that kind of stuff. So if that's already on your mind, that's awesome, but we just haven't unlocked it yet. So like I said, the game kind of starts you out small. Doesn't overwhelm you too much in the beginning, which is really nice. But if you've already got the urge to build, that's awesome. Okay, we can switch over to 3-speed. We are getting a call for some more industry. The intention was to have this as a commercial pocket, so let's end the residential. Fortunately, we're doing eminent domain here. All these poor people that just found their dream home, moved in. Oh boy. I do feel like a barbarian sometimes. Especially if you like think about it, as the individual Sims level. And in this game, everyone is simulated. Like they're born here, they'll live their lives here, they'll get educated, they could do crime, they could not, It's not like when you zoom back out, they disappear or anything. Like they're here. Okay, so we should be running out of power pretty soon again too. But by this point, with our budget being positive, we should be at a level where we can buy, or at least be close to buying the coal power plant. So as this comes in, that'll probably happen. We can now put in the new services that we got with the last milestone. So let's look at that. So Worthy Village, 800 people. We did manage to achieve that. We have the ability now to buy a new area, which will be awesome. That'll help us with our expansion. Another loan, which will help us with our services. We do have policies and district specializations. I haven't really gone into that yet. We're probably going to save that for the next episode too. Overall, I don't really use them all that often. I'll give you some examples where we can, absolutely. But for the most part, I don't know. I never really got into it, even with all my hours in the game. New services, very important to drop these. And unique buildings. Not there yet, but we'll start dropping some of those soon. So the industry, we're going to keep it pretty simple, but we can start doing some specialization with not just the industries DLC, but just the base game stuff. Okay, and then all the way at the bottom shows the new building, which we've unlocked. And in this case, it's police, which the city definitely needs right now, and fire, which are extremely important things. Because if a fire starts right now, it'll just spread and spread and spread, and that is very, very bad. Okay, so this is good to have near like a busy intersection. Kind of see our coverage is pretty good right there. Out of money, so we're going to go over to our second loan, which is nice and healthy, 60,000 credits. Now, one police station should be more than enough. They actually have a really great coverage zone, even doesn't actually show it. And the more we educate our people and the more opportunities we provide for them, the better off they'll be, and then they won't want to do crime. You know? If you're rich, happy, and healthy at home, what do you have to steal? You can just go buy it. An Amazon delivery, right? Alright, so same idea. Let's put this near a major intersection. We can probably put this one even a little bit closer to the highway. Double up with the our little medical plaza over here. That's kind of cool. And then, you know, eventually we'll have a little off ramp here, so you can kind of use the highway a little bit more. Maybe sneak on into here. So let the police do their thing, and we'll probably just throw down one more fire station. The industrial area definitely is the most prone to fires, and depending on how close the proximity of your trees are, and if you have the natural disasters DLC, you might get a lot of fires spreading via the trees. And the trees can only be put out if you have the natural. Actually, I don't know about the base game. For natural disasters DLC, you have to for sure use the helicopter depot. I don't know how the base game treats it if you don't actually have this though. Because fire will spread from tree to tree, but the fire trucks themselves don't put those fires out. So that's interesting. Maybe someone can report back in the comments. Maybe you guys can help me out with that one. Alright, well, a fire station obviously is water, so that should be priority. Water's still doing great, by the way, so I'm not worried about that. Our budget's pretty healthy, so we can definitely do an expansion. We do need an industrial push. All of our new people need a job, otherwise they'll keep committing crime. So why don't we expand over there? And I'm going to put down the new power plant, because we definitely, as you can see, are just teetering at that point. Now, with the power plant, because we don't have any coal mines in the area, which we can talk about later, don't worry. It's kind of cool building a mining area. For the moment, though, we have to bring the coal in from the region. And that was that mentality when we first set up in the beginning, that we do want to have everything that's industrial, that's calling from vehicles from the region, to be close to the highway. And we want it to, like, not really interfere with our people, right? So let's just toss this down. Industry is sacred right now because we need a lot of jobs. So let's not destroy anyone. And we'll add just a little bit more roads through here. And an industry can kind of be a maze of, like, you know, one ways, but a lot of straight roads, because it's going to be complicated for our trucks. You don't have these, like, tight little turns, right? Okay, so, you know, a little one-way maze through here. Why not? And wherever it's busy, you might end up with better traffic flow by having a T intersection, so just 3 points instead of having 4 or more. And if it's going to be more than 4, which some intersections maybe you do, try thinking about having a roundabout. And we'll do some roundabouts and whatnot in the next episode too. That's going to be more just kind of making things feel a bit more unique. Today it's just literally expanding, just the absolute basics, you know. I hope to be doing little bits of detailing too, but not that much, right? We're just kind of going for the shape here. And already not too bad. You can kind of see generically how it wants to expand, right? Maybe this can be a bridge that pushes over the river. These guys here, if we wanted to, we could continue these, which I think we're going to. Maybe they can go on an angle. We can follow that. They become elevated. You know, so the highway kind of goes. It's got a support road. We'll kind of see how traffic goes. And we can monitor traffic, of course, by looking at our traffic map. The redder the area, the higher the volume. Doesn't mean the traffic's bad there. It means you might need a little bit of attention, but it just means high volumes going through there. So as long as they're not waiting too long to the point where they're despawn, you're okay. Okay, then we'll go over more of these, by the way, as we unlock them. But just for the moment, nice and easy peasy. Okay, so I know we actually have a demand for some more industrial, but I'm just going to throw one more little edge over here and just kind of finish this off slightly. And I think we're okay for services for our people. This kind of stuff looks nice in the eye overhead too, so it seems like that wants to connect. So if we continue that line outward, it'll still kind of feel like it's there. Whereas here, you see how we're kind of a little bit off? It's not bad, but maybe a little bit nicer going down that way, right? And little things like that, just totally feel free to change them. The city, it's so young, we can do whatever we want, really, right? Like that might even be a little bit too close to the highway, who knows, you know? I love it, the sky's the limit here. I want to stress to you guys, like, don't worry about making mistakes. Like, it's almost part of the fun, right? I think we just severed, oh, we're okay. Pausing all the time, just, if you need to, totally go ahead. Like, pause, take notes, have, like, you know, the bigger picture in your mind's eye, and just work towards it, right? And we got another highway going through here. We're probably going to want to connect these up, better flow through the city. We'll have a really cool downtown maybe on the island. Following a lot of the same styles as the previous, right? But we'll get there when we get there. Okay, over to our industry. Let's zone here. Yeah, these power lines taking up, I wouldn't say like valuable space, but they are taking up space. So I'm going to keep them as a personal preference. I think it's going to look kind of cool having a nice heavy duty, oh, here we are. Oh, cool. Oh, fishing industry services already. Cool. Actually, it's pretty early. So if you have the Industries DLC, this is when these get unlocked. This is also park areas from the Park Life DLC. Policies that go along with it. Yes, pathways and roads that go along with it too. Industrial roads, cool. Fishing routes, there we go. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff here. Yeah, so the parks, that's kind of what we're after. The main ones, high school, library, important stuff now. So let's get more jobs, and then we'll work on making the people happy for the next round that are coming in. Okay, so let's go 3-speed, because I do want to see these fill in. And at some point, there's going to be kind of like maybe a forest boundary. You can use office buildings, have a commercial zone, but we have to have enough room in between where the people are working and the people are living that they won't really bug each other. And you can already see on our sound map how the noise pollution, like look at these guys. Whew. So busier intersections, commercial zones create traffic. That's why it's good not to make these little in-town neighborhood ones too big. You know, over here, right, the battle's lost, so you never want to live close to there. And also the ground pollution is going to build, right? As a random little tidbit, little help tip right here, try to put your garbage dumps also close to the highway. More city accessibility. And that kind of means, you know, as the city grows, you can have just a little offshoot, you know, a little trumpet interchange, and then just have like a little garbage pickup processing. And we'll tie in some of the new the new Sunset Harbor DLC in with that. All right, demand shifted for commercial. Commercial was supposed to go here all along, and that's going to give people a chance to do some shopping as they drive to and from work. And I find, you know, where commercial zones go like this, we're going to try and do a little area for, you know, buses to turn around, people to turn around, pick up, drop off. It's just, if you have a city that's like one long stretch of road, it's hard for cars to do U-turns and maybe get to where they want to go, right? Okay. And we'll bring in some pipes. Yeah, so overhead of the buildings, right, you'll see icons. You can click on the building, you can hover over the icon and get a little bit more information, but that's just a general idea right there. This one I think kind of makes sense, right? Others will be like, not enough goods, not enough workers, you know, it's on fire. So just click on it. And those ones, I think leveling up, I think means that just got some goods or something. Who knows? Who knows really, right? Well, I hope someone does. I'm sure you're expecting me to, but yeah, I don't know all of them. That's kind of weird, right? Anyway, just keep an eye out. You'll see abandoned buildings too. And then, yeah, if you hover over, you'll find out, like, possibly why they went abandoned. Then you can kind of remedy the situation. Cool, not bad. Not bad at all. So demand should now start shifting towards the residential. We've given them a little bit of a pocket to do some shopping, a little bit of shopping up here too. So if you're going to and from work, you can see now we've split in terms of traffic. We've got a little backup route, arterial style both ways. Traffic's pretty good. At this point, we might start seeing some red zones. Good traffic is definitely 70% or above. If you're, 70, 80%, I wouldn't stress one bit. If you're 80% or better, you're doing great. If you're 90%, it means maybe low population or you're just very lucky. I don't think we're doing anything that great right now. But yeah, if you're like, 50, 60% lower, yikes. That's no good. You got to try and find the zones, maybe spread the intersections out, try mixing some stuff up with the one-ways. Lane mathematics are important too. You want wider roads for the busier areas. Yeah, so far so good. And these bigger plots here that not fully zoned, again, we're gonna go over this in the next episode. This is where you can throw down some parks. The custom ones, they fit nice in here, a little bit oversized, use up the space pretty nicely. And we can start throwing down our own trees. We can connect more pathways to the pre-existing ones. There you go. Now you got a little community park that everyone can share. And then next episode, we're going to put in some fencing, do some more trees, do some more generic detailing. And we're going to start early, so it doesn't seem like it's all that impossible to put into the city. Yeah, if you leave it till last minute, right? If you're like multiple hours in, then you want to detail, it seems like it's a big bridge to cross, right? But if you start slow, keep it manageable, I think it's pretty easy to do. All right, guys, well, I think we're at we'll end things here. A little bit of a shorter episode, but I think we're to the point. I think we're expanding nicely. And we're going to try and just keep the first, 4, 5, 6 episodes just very, detailed, tutorial, vanilla, all those kind of, if you're new to the game, it'll help a lot with that kind of stuff, right? And then we'll get bigger and better with more grandiose projects. And I'm going to look at some of the older episodes, and I'm going to try and get some of the same, like landmarks and hotspots kind of in the same area here too. So Porter Washington Parkway, definitely, that was a hot topic in the comments. I love that already. And yeah, we're going to get the university campus downtown, that really cool bus depot we made. We're going to bring the trains through as well. The industry over here with that really cool, fun interchange, but better this time. I think the downtown island will make more sense. I'm just really excited, guys. We'll do another hydroelectric dam as well. Yeah, a lot to do. Let's end here. Let's keep it short and sweet. I think you guys are you're well on your way. And I'm going to try and incorporate with your suggestions a lot of cool stuff. And I'll pull some names from the comments, and I'll pull some names from the old city too. So we'll name some districts after people. All right, guys. I will see you again. Hope you're doing well. Happy building. Keep going. If you have any questions, drop me a line. And yeah, guys, follow me on Discord, or join our Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, all that other fun stuff. And we'll see you again. Episode 3, like I said, is going to be a lot of detailing. We'll be introducing some roundabouts, parks, pathways, that kind of stuff. All right, guys. All the best. See you again.